Hell in a Cell is this Sunday, and we have a lot of matches going on here. We haven't done this in a few weeks, so I think we only talked about the 2 Hell in a Cell matches, so we won't worry about those. But the rest we'll go through real quickly. First off, we have the kickoff match. It is a 6-man tag rematch from Raw last night, as Dolph Ziggler will team up with Cesaro and Neville to face the team of King Barrett, Sheamus, who's still the Money in the Bank holder, and Rusev. Now, all these people are actually in storylines, so it makes sense to have this match as a kickoff match. And the hell? I do apologize because there are mowers and the dog does not like the mowers. Let's just ignore that for now. And with this, like I said before, it's interesting to see all 6 of these men feuding, especially with the recent TMZ thing that we learned with Rusev and Dolph Ziggler. Well, more actually, Rusev and Lana, which basically destroyed the match with any storyline at all between Summer Rae, Rusev, Dolph Ziggler, and Lana. And this is what happens when you have people in a relationship. It happens. This is not the first time that Rusev and Lana have fucked themselves over because of a real-life relationship and storyline. I mean, look when he had the United States Championship. Look at when he had a rematch for the United States Championship. Every kayfabe rule was broken. With social media and places like TMZ, it's hard to uphold, which is understandable. But I mean, you had the two at a fucking basketball game a couple days before, where he loved the Cavs, or he loved some kind of team, I don't remember exactly, but both of them are there. And then a couple weeks later, I mean, they actually tried to separate. They actually tried to separate and make this work, but they got engaged a month earlier, and last week this news came out and it ruined any storyline, which is probably the best thing for Ziggler and Rusev, because this storyline was going nowhere. In fact, Lana and Summer Rae were the stars of this storyline, not Rusev and Dolph Ziggler, which was great, because you could potentially have a mixed tag, or potentially have a Lana versus Summer Rae at a later date, which I actually thought would have happened a couple months ago, but it never did because of Lana's injury with her hand. And since she's out of action with that injury, this could come at a worse time, because all that work making her the top babyface as far as the Divas go, almost one of the top babyfaces, and she's not even wrestling, is the thing. So with that being said, it's obviously going to be Rusev takes the fall, because Vince is going to act like he did with Ricky Steamboat when he wanted time off for his family. And the thing is, personal life does not work well with professional life in WWE. It has never worked, and it probably never will. And for the United States Championship, for the first time in a long time, John Cena has actually I think this is the first time ever, John Cena has a United States Open Challenge against the man, the myth, the legend known as Vacant. And until that changes, I have to give it to Vacant. He's had a hell of a run. He's had I mean, he's probably the only man to hold this year the UFC bantamweight title, or whatever one John Jones lost. John Jones lost due to his personal shit. The TNA Tag Team titles, the TNA World Championship after a dispute of Jeff Hardy being the referee for that triple threat match at Bound for Glory, and probably a bunch of other titles now that I think about it. I mean, Vacant has held probably more world titles than Ric Flair, the only man to do so, the only man to hold pretty much every championship in the history of this business. John Cena will lose to Vacant, and if for some reason anyone destroys this man known as Vacant, a legend in this business, a first ballot Hall of Famer, if anyone takes him out before this match and accepts a challenge before Vacant does, if you can take out Vacant, you deserve to be the United States Champion. So Either way, John Cena will lose it at Hell in a Cell. Mark my words. Up next, we have another championship match. The Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens defends against Ryback, who has his rematch clause. Now, I think it's a rematch clause, unless they already had it on SmackDown. I don't remember. But then again, I haven't watched SmackDown in weeks, so I don't know. But regardless, it's going to be simple. Kevin Owens just won the belt. It would not make sense for him to lose the belt. He recently retained it against Chris Jericho in a hell of a match for the Intercontinental Championship at Madison Square Garden. So it makes sense to build this man as a champion, like you were going to as the NXT champion and could have done as the United States champion. And here's the one that I honestly feel will be just as easier. The New Day defends the tag team titles against the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon. What's interesting in this match, though, because every single match we've seen between these two, every single match for our title, Xavier Woods interferes, causing a disqualification. Now on Raw, Bubba Ray and Devon and John Cena in a six-man defeated the New Day. But then, with the help of Cena, they put Xavier Woods through a table yet again. And I have received word that Xavier Woods is banned from ringside, meaning we are guaranteed new tag team champions. Speaking of champions, the Divas Championship on the line, Charlotte versus Nikki Bella. And Nikki has a rematch, of course, but with this match, it's very simple. Charlotte retains. I mean, Team Bella could probably interfere, but Becky Lynch could interfere as well as Natalya, with Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Natalya forming the team of NBC, which, not the network, but just it's the name they're going with, and I actually take credit for that name because for the past few weeks I've been calling them that. But with that being said, Charlotte will retain the belt because she just won it. There's no reason to make her lose the belt unless you're wanting to take out AJ Lee's Divas Championship reign, combined reigns rather, which stands still at 406 days for 3 reigns. Nikki, on her 2 reigns, has held it for 307 days. So if you're doing the math, that's over 100 days to go if you're wanting to have her become the all-time combined reign, like the longest reign in history as far as combined reigns go and as far as current reigns go, or in a single reign rather. But with that being said, I don't think they're going to do that. If they're going to do that, then you're going to have Charlotte retain the belt and hold it for a very long time. We already went over the Hell in a Cell match with Rollins and Kane, but there is one note here. Last Monday night, Kane, the director of operations, was suspended last night, and don't know if that rolls over to SmackDown because they're taping the night, so we'll see what happens with that. But it's interesting because if Seth Rollins retains the title, then Corporate Kane will be fired. But if the Demon Kane wins, Rollins loses the belt, and we have 2 Kanes supposedly holding the belt. And honestly, this could be the perfect time for a cash-in. Because let's say Kane wins the belt in a brutal Hell in a Cell match. Regardless of who wins, I can see Sheamus cashing in. And if not, we could possibly see him hold on to that briefcase until WrestleMania. And let's see. Actually, by the way, the Kane Rollins match is not a Hell in a Cell. I just thought it was going to be because normally a championship match like this is in the Hell in a Cell, but that would be a big event for Kane. Regardless, I can see a cash in here. And we already talked about the 2 Hell in a Cell matches, like I said before, as I was confusing one of the matches as one of them because they have the Hell in a Cell in the back of every match, which makes no sense, and they just have Hell in a Cell in white font here, which is good, because it differentiates what is actually a Hell in a Cell and what isn't. But Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, the past 2 weeks, Roman Reigns has basically been building up this feud by talking about it, trying to hype up the numbers to get your $9.99 or get your free subscription, and I'm not buying it. With the recent bringing back of Eric Rowan, the Wyatt family is stronger than ever, with Luke Harper, Braun Strowman, and now the return of Eric Rowan. I don't know why Harper wasn't there last night. I can only assume it was part of the Mexico tour, or something like that, but he wasn't there. So, either way, the Wyatt family is not able to interfere because it's the Hell in a Cell. So, either we see Roman Reigns look strong like they want him to do, or we see Bray Wyatt back in a place where he was a year ago when he helped Seth Rollins retain the belt again. Actually, I don't think it was Seth Rollins. I think it was, yeah, it was Rollins. It was Rollins and Ambrose in a match. It might not have been for the title, but regardless, helped Seth Rollins pick up the win in an amazing Hell in a Cell last year, and we could see him really shine in this match. And finally, The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar for the final time inside the Hell in a Cell. What can I say? Because this match has happened before, several years ago. We talked about that in a couple episodes ago. And the thing here is, this is the final match. Regardless of what happens, this has to be the final match. You can't bring it back for WrestleMania. You can't bring it back for SummerSlam, because you already had the controversial finish at SummerSlam. We don't want to see that again. And the fact is, regardless of what happens, only one person will walk out of here alive. And probably just standing in general. One person will be able to leave on their own power, while the other one will just lay there in a heap of waste, of probably a tower of weapons, a pile of weapons everywhere. This match is worth the $9.99 itself. If you had them go for 3 hours straight in a Hell in a Cell, this would be the pay-per-view right here. This is the only reason this whole night is probably worth it. But I'm not going to say who wins, because I am not that stupid to put my faith in one man. Because regardless, Hell in a Cell is this Sunday, and we will see someone die in this cell. I can guarantee that.